Okay, so riding home the other day, my girlfriend's Indian Scout had a clutch cable snap. So this is a fairly common problem. It happens seemingly around the 3,000 to 4,000 mile mark. You can see here what basically happened. The clutch cable snapped right off at the barrel end, right through in here. So basically we had to have the bike towed home. I didn't have an extra cable on me. I didn't even have my extra passenger seat on the bike, on my other bike that I was riding. So it was kind of a shit show. Indian roadside assistance did actually help out. Dealers weren't much of a use considering it was Sunday. In any case, ordered a Barnett replacement clutch cable in the stainless. And what you're going to need to do to replace this cable is you're going to need the following. You're going to need the replacement clutch cable, as you can see. I ordered the stainless one. You can get black ones, but since the brake cable is stainless, it made more sense to me to match it up to the stainless ones from Barnett. What you can see here is you'll need a adjustable wrench. You'll need I like 1/4 inch for this type of finicky work, an extension, a 10mm socket, some side cutters, a couple of 10mm wrenches, and a 13mm wrench, and a couple of medium-sized 8-inch or so black plastic zip ties to replace the ones that you're going to take off, and some cable lubricant. The cable lubricant comes with the cable itself, so you don't need to buy that separately. Okay, the first thing you're going to do is you're going on the right side of the bike. You're going to follow this plastic radiator shroud all the way down. You're going to go underneath the foot peg. See the foot peg here. You're going to find this bolt. That's a 10mm. That's a radiator shroud mounting bolt. That'll just make routing the new cable and taking the old one out a lot easier. So I'm going to remove that now. This is where you need the extension on your 10mm socket. I'm just using a 1/4 drive. I'm going to remove that and we'll move on to the next step. Okay, as you can see, I have removed that bolt. I put it right back in this little rear brake line cable. I'm just going to move it out of the way, and you can see that the shroud now moves pretty easily and allows you to route this rear clutch cable. So. Okay, next up, you're going to find this clutch cable slack adjuster. It's under the right side of the engine case near the exhaust pipe. Make a lot of sense not to do this when the bike is hot. This bike is not. This is covered by a rubber boot. So we're going to slide that rubber boot off, thread the adjuster together. Threading them together increases the slack in the cable. So you might need a 10mm wrench to start this off, but generally once you get it started, you should be able to do it with your fingers. I'm going to do that now. Just a couple quick notes here. I thought that this nut here was 10. It's not. This is the barrel is a 10. This is, I think, is 11. I just use the adjustable to back it off. So I'm going to thread all of this together now, turning it this way. And once I get that done, I'll take another shot. Okay, that's all adjusted inwards now, so everything is adjusted together. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to cut these 2 nylon ties here and here. Be very, very careful. Do not cut the mount itself. Just cut the tie itself. Put new ties on after. So I'm going to use my little side cutters. Do that now. Okay, there we are with the zip ties cut. You can just pull them out now, and they should just come right free. The cable will drop down. We're going to thread our new cables through there eventually. I'll show you how to do that after. Threaded through my new zip ties, just so I don't forget to do them later on. One there, one there. All ready to go. Next thing you're going to do is you're going to follow the cable back, and you're going to follow it all the way up to the rear mount of the cable, and you're going to locate the rear mounting nut. You're going to loosen that upper mounting nut, which is pretty much the only one that you can access. Okay, this nut in here is actually a 12 millimeter. You're going to back it off until it comes all the way off. Just like that. Keep spinning it up. Comes until it comes all the way off, just like that. Next thing you're going to do is you're going to fit your adjustable wrench onto the end of the clutch rod, and you're going to actually pry it down. And while you do that, you're going to move that barrel up and over the ramp. Once you've got it moved over the ramp, you can then slide the whole assembly out and down. Notice it just falls right out onto the pavement. Now at this point, you would normally release the other cable end from the barrel in the clutch lever itself. You would pull that clutch barrel out, you would pull it out through here and down and around. But since this clutch cable snapped, I don't need to do that. What I'm going to do at this point is I'm actually going to feed from top to bottom this cable out and through the mount here, or the slot. Pull it out this way, and then I'm going to very carefully keep an eye on exactly how this is mounted, going through this radiator shroud area. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to grab the other cable, and I'm going to kind of follow this routing as I pull the old one out, just to make sure I get it the same way. So I've routed the cable. One of the differences you can tell between the Barnett cable and the stock cable is that the stock cable has this rubber boot, and the Barnett cable does not. I'm actually going to try and route that rubber boot back onto the Barnett cable just to make sure that it's there. Okay, the old boot is off the old cable. I've moved it over to the new cable. Not terribly difficult, but just take your time. Okay, now that I've got the cable routed up and through, up to the lever, note that it's down through there. Also note that the stock brake cable, pretty good spot-on match for the Barnett cable, the stainless one at least. So at this point, I'm going to pull as much slack out of this as I can before I go in and put the other end on. I'm going to get this end taken care of. Putting the barrel into the end of the clutch lever is real easy. All you need to do is pull this clutch lever all the way forward, turn the barrel on its side, thread it up and into that, and then you'll notice that you can move this cable over, and then you can actually pull the cable in and insert it into that end. That's all there is to it. So now we're going to move our way back to the other end of the cable and insert it into the clutch rod end. Okay, just as before, you're going to pull those two nuts off the top of that barrel, and you're going to route it as before. Start by getting the cable through the small opening there, and then once you do that, push up the threaded barrel into the larger hole, and then you can route it behind just like you did before, getting it ready. At this point, get this perch nut locked on, the bottom perch nut locked on real good, and then lock down the top nut. And there you go, top nut is locked down onto the bottom. Keeps it from backing off. This little fork area is already pretty well greased from the factory, but I'm going to use the supplied Barnett cable lubricant to lube that area, as well as the end of the cable itself, before I slot it in there. Okay, that's all lubed up nicely. I'm going to get my adjustable, and I'm going to rotate that clutch rod back so I can insert the barrel from the back into that cradle. Okay, barrel is inserted into the cradle of the clutch rod, and I'm going to move on to the next step. At this point, get your zip tie, snugged up on this back zip tie towards the back of the bike. Don't do the front one just yet because we're going to do some adjustment. So this is your slack adjuster nut. You're going to want to turn this out in order to decrease the length of the cable. Then you want to use your lock nut to lock that adjustment in. When you have the free play set up properly, your lever is going to move just a little bit before it starts to catch that cable. So you're going to have a little tiny bit of wobble or wiggle in this cable, in this lever actually, I should say. I would say probably the amount of a thickness of a credit card, maybe a credit card and a half. Probably about the right place for it. Once you get that set up, you're going to lock that lock nut down, slide that dust boot over, and button up the rest. There's the lock nut all adjusted to the right length. And I'm going to move this dust boot back over. There it is with the dust boot over it properly. This is the point at which you're going to put this back in to hold the radiator shroud on. I'm going to snug that up now. There it is, all snugged up. Don't overdo it, folks. Tight is tight. Just took it for a quick ride around the block. Everything is good. Shifts nice and smooth. I noticed that the clutch pull between gears when you're shifting seems much smoother, although sort of just grabbing it and holding it as if you're idling in with the clutch pulled in seems to have a little bit more pull to it. I would imagine that it'll break loose a little bit in time, feel a little better, and probably have to readjust it down the road a little bit, but that's it pretty much. Really not a very difficult procedure. Once you've done it once, you probably will never need to look at this kind of a video ever again, but it's nice cable. Pull seems really nice, and highly recommended before you wind up stranded or needing a tow truck or Indian roadside assistance, which kind of a pain. So enjoy. Hope this was useful. Take care.